Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Game 4, the final of Viscounts of the West Kingdom here. It is terribly important that we win this game. For my own pride, I really desperately need to win this one. It's very important, but we're going up against a building AI here, and then, there are 45 points worth of buildings on the board, and let's not assume this is going to be easy. Basically, I'm real worried here. I think there's a real good chance that I'm going to end up losing yet another game. But, at least that last one was real close, I think. I think we were like one or two wrongly made choices away from winning. So maybe we can carry that improvement curve forward here and snatch victory from the jaws of defeat, as we so rarely do. So no really big special stuff here. They're starting with a lot of stone. It's going to be not too hard for them to get into the building loop, although... Where's the one that has the hammer under it? Okay, the guild hall... Oh, right, these are rearranged. The guild hall with the hammer under it is the first one on this board. Okay, yeah, I'm a little worried. Alright, let's have a look at our heroes. So we got Bertha back out here alongside... quite a lot of money and ink, which is interesting, and then Therese, who I don't think we've seen before, and she is paired with take one of the starting manuscripts. The villages are 1 and 3. How did the map generate this time? This is 3, and this is 1. And 1 and 3 are the money villages, so we know those positions as well. Okay, I really prefer the money villages being spread out. I think that benefits us way more than it benefits the AI, because they don't care what's in the villages, so I'm happy to see that. Also noticing we got our strongman right on top here, and several people who have 3 bags. Like, the bag's the worst one, right? Because the market action is the worst one. The market action is the only one that almost never directly generates points. Although I suppose it can, right? Like, there's this village, at the very least. And it's pretty much true that this village is the only way to easily flip more than one card at a time, right? If you get in a situation where you desperately need to flip deeds or debts. Maybe I've been undervaluing the bags. Maybe we want to try to get Strongman here and try to do a little bit more of a market-heavy strategy. It's just like each time you have to do a market action for stone or whatever, it feels really bad. You need resources, but what you want to be doing is figuring out a strategy for constantly doing silver, gold, or black actions in such a way that they generate the resources you need for the next silver, gold, or black action. But if you have something like Strongman, it definitely reduces the penalty for filling your deck with market cards. Alright, that's interesting. So, I mean, Therese does have 3. If we were going to try to do that thing, we could take Therese here. Now, it's worth noting that Therese, although she does start with a manuscript, and that's cool, she also starts with very little money, which sort of incentivizes you to take the money manuscript. I believe... Yes, no cards were removed from the basic scheme deck with this AI, but it did remove 2 of the manuscript cards from the future deck. So probably they're going to write manuscripts a little bit less often, at least in the later game. And actually, I guess they're going to do everything in kind of an unpredictable way because their starting scheme deck is full size and has all of the actions in it. So it's kind of hard to predict what we're coming up against here. I do think Bertha's ability to move guys around in the castle is definitely interesting. And honestly, this is probably just a better starting position card than this one, right? Like, what are you getting for all the money that you're all the money and that stone that you're missing? You're getting a manuscript, and you're missing a deed. Like, I don't. So Therese's fall off, 2 virtue, and a discard, while Bertha is immediately get that move over. I kind of want to see about going deep on a market strategy, just like take a smaller number of market actions, but have them be incredibly efficient when you do it. If you're going to the market for gold, come back with 6 gold. And then That way you can take the very powerful versions of the other actions. This seems like a really weak starting condition to me, though. I don't know why that card is so bad. So we could grab a whole bunch of starting money, we could grab an extra resource, but it's worth noting that if we take the extra resource, we just end up with as many resources as the other card. And if we take the starting money, we actually end up with less money than the other card has on it. Basically, the problem here is I want Therese way more than I want Bertha, and I want this starting condition way more than I want that one. I think we're going to try this, though. I think 3 is bad, but I think Therese is going to present an interesting opportunity to us. You know, this is the thing. When you're learning a game, you gotta just try stuff, and especially, you gotta try stuff that looks to you like it's bad. This is a thing I believe very strongly. When you're feeling out the strategy space in a game like this, if there's a strategy or an option that you look at it and you go, why would they do that? That seems terrible. You should try it immediately. You should play with that option and feel out whether it actually is terrible and it's just balanced badly, which does happen, right? Or whether there was something about it that you didn't get. Because if it's the case that there's something about it that you didn't get that's making you consider it poorly, playing with it is the fastest way to figure that out. And then we get to pick a manuscript of our choice. So we're going to be starting in Village 3. And I kind of want this strongman. I sort of think we got to take the money. I suppose if we take the money, we have a good start on the blue cleric card because there's already another blue manuscript showing. And the blue cleric card does kind of play into our idea here. I'm going to do that. We're going to start with the money manuscript. So give me this. Give me that. That's important. And reveal, sadly, not another blue. Okay. So that's all of the stuff that we get. Let's go ahead and lock you in place. And then you get a debt and a deed. And 3 stone and a gold. So this AI will be playing into the castle. And obviously, we care about the castle too. We recognize now how powerful the castle is. It is worth noting that if you take Castle Leader... I don't know why my mouse is jittering like that. My hand is completely off of it. Okay, it's settled down. It figured its stuff out. If you take Castle Leader, in order for someone else to take Castle Leader from you, they have to surpass the number of workers you have in the middle. So, it might be worth, if we think the AI is going to put a lot of guys in the castle, it might be worth pushing hard for a Castle Leader to, like, just before they are able to get it, basically. Just so that we can get it at one guy and they have to try to push a second guy in and we'll have time to respond to that. There's a lot of benefit to getting there first. And then, of course, you get to start in Village 1 down here. And with that, I do believe we are ready to play some Viscounts. I don't know if this is a real strategy or not that we're using over here. Also, I should take my seat so that the game knows where to put my cards. Alright. Thief, Abbot, Squire. Interesting start. So, like I said, I'd like to hire this guy on pretty quickly. Obviously, we could Abbot and go write the manuscript there. Yeah, I think I'm fine with that. I guess the real question is, do we want to Abbot and write that manuscript, or do we want to Thief and write that manuscript? Because the thing is, if we're planning to write another manuscript the turn after, which I think might be the case, because at that point we would I think whichever one of these two we play first, the other one is the right call next turn, probably, right? And we just, move into a place where we can do a temp hire? Yeah, I think that makes sense. And if we're going to do it that way, we should play the Thief first, so we get the fall-off ability earlier. Well, if we play the Thief first, though, it's going to be more expensive in total, right? Because we're going to have to pay more for this initial move. And then we really want to move 1 after that to temp this guy for the extra cross. And if we play Thief first, we move here, then pay twice. Then we play Abbot, and the only way to get to this space in 2 moves is to go 1, 2, and then pay again. Yeah. So let's go Abbott first. 1, 2, pay a single coin for movement, and then pay no coins for movement next turn, because we only have one thing to spend. I think that's a sensible move. Oh, we don't even have to temp hire. I was forgetting about the cross here. This first manuscript only costs us 1 ink, which is actually really nice. So let's grab that, and now we're doing all right on manuscripts for the end of our first action, in my opinion. And we are not doing a temp hire, but we are definitely doing a permanent hire. Welcome aboard, the Strongman. And what have we revealed? Oh! Okay, well that's a shame that we're not going to be able to hire that guy, because honestly, I probably would if it were convenient to do so. And then obviously we got nothing to resolve, draw up, and there's Therese. Let's just make sure here. Okay. Jealous of my virtue. The AI also gains some. You know, it happens to me all the time. People are always so jealous of all that virtue that I've got. And then, yep, we do have 2 fleur-de-lis and a gold to make 2 workers into the part of the castle where the ink and the stone are, which I think is a pretty high value part of the castle. Alright, slide over. I'm pretty sure this is still right. So we gain a corruption off of playing thief. We move once, and we got skull, cross, ink. So maybe I want to hire the pastor? My dude's got earrings. That's probably a little anachronistic. I guess, I don't know. I don't know what maybe religious people in whatever year it's supposed to be here more commonly wore earrings. I don't necessarily think he's bad, honestly. Yeah, I think we're going to take a permanent hire on this dude. So we will not temp him. So we will go Skullcross, Inkwell, get ourselves another manuscript, and the third manuscript color here on turn 2. Ooh. Well now. Boy, I sure hope the AI doesn't snake that. I think with the direction we're going, that could be very good for us. And it's blue! And it's blue, so it helps us get the cleric card, and the symbols on this, I'm pretty sure, do count. If it comes down to it, I will go and I'll go look up the Board Game Geek topic where I saw that information. I'm pretty sure that's right. Alright, and then we go to permanent hire time, and I think we do, in fact, want to bring the pastor aboard. And I want to do this for sure, off of his rearrange. Do we want to put the abbot... Let me think here. You know, there is another cross available. It's not exactly in the position I would like. I'm just thinking if we leave the abbot exactly where he is, the next turn when we do the slide overs, this space will be empty, and so we'll have a cross printed on our board. Plus this one here, so if we can find a cross or something, we could write another manuscript really quickly. And like, I'd be way into getting a second blue manuscript so that we can pick this up and get our card. I think we'll leave the abbot where he is, for that reason. Alright, no thing to resolve. Draw up. Financier is not exactly what I was hoping for. I guess there's nothing I could have gotten, right? We don't have any skulls or crosses in our deck. So I think we're just going to be out of luck. Because we can't use this guy to do it, because the thing in his position doesn't cost 3. So I don't know, maybe the AI will reveal something for us, though, if they burn a townsfolk. Alright, they get a flip, which is good for them. Of course, they are collecting stone, as they are the building AI. They move to... Oh, no. Oh, no, this is... Okay, that's not so bad. They move 2, and then they write a manuscript. No, they don't. They have 2 crosses showing. They cannot do that, so they do their preferred action instead. And they have 6 hammers, so let's get a 5-hammer building here. Which is these ones. And that goes there, which gives them... That's just a future scheme. Yep. Okay, they got the super criminal future scheme. And they also immediately get a future scheme. Okay, build manuscript and criminal. So they're going to be trending pretty dark this game. So we might want to focus on flipping deeds where we have the chance. I mean, flipping a debt is always... It's hard not to want to flip debts, right? I think they've done a really good job here with the balance of, like, criminal symbols being super important, but the more criminals people have, the more weight it puts on the deed pile because people are picking up a lot of debts, and then that makes you want less to flip debts, but flipping debts is like... You know, flipping debts is like the obviously right thing to do as far as cards go, and getting criminals is obviously the right thing to do as far as townsfolk go, but they have tension between them. The more people are doing one of them, the less right the other one gets. I think it's a really cool design. Yeah, so we resolved your turn. Now it's my turn. Get out of the way, you attention-grabbing computer. So, when we card manage, that happens. Get ye debt, and also a dollar. And then there is no way to make this work, right? There's no way to make a manuscript happen? Yeah, the only temp hire we could do for a relevant symbol is in a place where the manuscript doesn't cost 3. So we cannot manuscript this turn. If we play Squire, and we go to a place where we can temp one of these symbols, we could use that to get a 2-worker gold action, which is, like, not very exciting. But, you know, a 2-worker gold action at least begins to seed the deck. I should have moved the abbot back. Yeah, I should have moved him to here on the rearrange, and then had him be here, and then we would have had more bags showing. Oh well, it's fine. So maybe what we do is we play Therese now, and then next turn, he'll slide off, revealing those. She'll slide here, we'll play Financier, and then we'll have 6. So if we were going to play Therese now, what would we do with these 3 bags? We could just go get money. She has exactly enough moves to take us to a money village. That's not, like, amazing, but I think we're going to have a pretty soft turn no matter how we do this. Especially given our relatively small number of resources, by which I mean 0. 0 resources. So yeah, let's go 1, 2, 3. And hire the courtier, I think. Yeah, I think that guy's in our strategy for sure. So we'll go ahead and just gain 3 money, and then permanent hire this guy, and that gives us a shuffle, which gives us a virtue. Alright, I don't exactly know what I'm hoping for from this top deck, but show me something cool. That's not that good. That's a soft one. That's a pretty weak pull. And we've revealed the clergyman, who I think is actually kind of interesting for our strategy. Alright, no collision? Yeah. Okay, the criminality begins. So that's just another scheme, right? Like, man, their deck is getting full up real fast. And more skulls. And then move once. Trying to stay in my way. And then build. And you are showing 2 hammers and a stone. What a shame. Alright, a virtue for you. So, if we were to build here, we would immediately get... It's destroy plus virtue plus gold now. And I mean, it's plus virtue and gold for them too, but that's interesting. When the AI is focused on building, I guess there's a greater degree of like a sort of a weird competitive cooperation. As you're like, the moves you make are increasing the value of other people's moves. Because like, obviously, it is to our benefit to not let the AI score these alone. But like, when you're talking about competing for manuscripts or something, when you take a move to steal a manuscript from the AI, you're just getting the normal value of the manuscript. Here, as we build, we actually increase the incentive for each other to build. We get greater value by going in together. Which obviously is like that's a thing you struggle with in any 2-player game. Is it worth the extra value that I will give them? Alright, so we get 2 people we can play to add a 6th bag to our board. And if we're going to do that, I would love to buy ink, if that's a thing that's feasible. Of course, the AI stopped at the ink village. What's a rearrange for them is a resource. Don't really want to give them stone, but I do really want to get ink. Right, we could play financier, just get 2 money, discard the trader probably, and then get some ink and hope to get to this quickly. I think we really want this. I think it's very important to us that the AI not be allowed to get that, and that makes me more willing to do a thing that gives them a little short-term value. So I think that's the play. Financier, get 2 money, discard trader. Or do I hold trader and discard squire? There's no way I'm going to do a gold action. What am I talking about? And then go 1, 2, 3. This is the only ink village, right? No, there's one way over there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I pay 2 money to not give the AI resources. But if I move to this village, I have to circuit the entire board before I can come back to this thing. Yeah, that's not smart. Let's not do that. Okay, so 6 bags showing is 3 ink, but obviously I'm going to buy some more ink as well with all of my money. I want to be 100% sure we're going to get this, to the point that I'm considering buying 2 more ink. Because we know that the Abbot's not in the deck anymore. Our Thief is in there somewhere. But our Thief is... I'm going to buy the 2 ink. If we don't use it now, we'll use it later. So 4 money is 4 bags, is 2 ink. Also, you get a stone. Let's not forget to give you your stone. And then, do I want to hire you? We've got a very virtuous situation so far. So, the princess would not be terrible. If the AI is going deep on crime, then picking up a bunch of deeds and flipping some of them does seem to be a pretty good strategy. But if we hire this princess, we're going to be out of money real fast. I'm going to hold off. I'm going to not spend the money. Let's not do that. Let's draw up. Well, we pulled the Thief. That's interesting. Alright, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, manuscripts and 3 movement. Okay, it's not quite going to get him into that part of the board. So, first of all, trash. And gain a virtue. Secondly, 1, 2, 3... And then you would write a manuscript, except you do not have 4 crosses available to you, no matter what you do. So instead, you flip one of these and gain a stone. And no collision. I'm so paranoid about it now. Alright. So, we need 1, 2, 3 points of movement to reach the manuscript of our choosing. The manuscript that we most want. Here's the thing. I don't think that it's possible for the AI to pull it next turn. Right, this is going to slide off. Even if they draw a manuscript card, they have at most 3 symbols, they can't get this. So, while I do think it's important that we not, push by it and hope that it will be there later, I don't think we have to get it this turn if we're sure that we can get it on the next turn. So, a question arises. First of all, black is the color that we're missing. Okay, we don't have the option of picking up a black manuscript. But, could we pick up this manuscript and leave ourselves in a position where we're sure we'll be able to get that one? If I were to play Thief right now, we move to here, grab this. It would cost us 2 ink, and then we would need another manuscript symbol or another criminal symbol in order to verify that we would get this. Or we would need to find a way of getting an ink right now, if we could flip a debt or something. It looks to me like we do not have that assurance, and there's no way to guarantee an ink on the way over there. Yeah. So if we're not gonna do that, what are we gonna do this turn? We could just run over there, right? We could thief, spend 2 of our remaining money. I don't really love that. I don't think it's necessary. A thing we could do is like... Well, you know what we could do? We could thief this turn to here, buy this. Then the turn after that, lender, go here, flip a card, get the ink back from that, and then 1, 2, 3... I do not think there's any risk of the AI taking it before we get it, and then that would, at the same time, get us this and lock in the cleric card. I think that is actually... I think that's actually sensible. Right, we'll have exactly 4 bag symbols next turn, so I mean, it's kind of a weak action there, but I think it's a strong sequence overall. So that'll get us a corruption. 1. Skull plus 2 inkwells. And then we'll take this. And this gets us a free hire. So what do we want to hire? Who on the board is exciting? I mean, I do think the clergyman is potentially interesting. He gives us a rearrange that I don't think I would use. Yeah, probably not. We can hire in the priest. The priest is a 3-coster. I think we would hire in the priest, honestly. I think that's the smart move here. Yeah, let's grab him. He's on plan and also, like, expensive. He would be annoying to acquire otherwise. And then we revealed an acolyte who is also pretty interesting. Okay, so the priest gives us a discard immediately, and I think we're going to drop the trader. Because we want to play lender, and then, like, you know, it would be super dope if we could just draw something that has some better symbols on it. We're not quite in a collision place yet. I'm not going to spend to hire the stonecutter, even though I do think stonecutter's good. Draw up to hand size, and the pastor makes our lives much simpler. So we just skip that whole lender turn. We just pastor plus 1 to here. Yeah, I think that's a great play. Okay, cool. Really happy that we got that going. But we had a contingency plan in place in case we failed to draw a relevant symbol. Alright, what's up with you is a stone, and then a move, and then building with 5 hammers. 5 hammers worth of building. So you get a gold, and you got this thing now. When they have no criminals, flip a debt when someone collides. That's probably not going to come up that much. I feel like the AI is like very deep on criminal symbols this game. So good news for us, I suppose. Alright, that makes it... Right, you didn't collide? Yeah, you didn't collide. That makes it our turn. Therese falls off, which is good news for us. So 2 virtue. Pushes our collision over to there. And then, like... We're kind of picking up a lot of cards. And it's making me a little nervous. So I'm kind of thinking maybe we drop the journeyman. But also, we could be picking up more cards that are sort of like half in each of our strategies, right? Bags and also crosses. I want to take this discard. I do want to discard something. I want to be cycling through our deck. I want to get back to Therese. I want to get back to the thief. I guess, what do we think is still in the deck? I'm not paying all of the attention. Our financier is already out. What are the cards that we have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So most of the cards that are left are things we bought, not things we started with. Because we can see 7 of our 8 starting cards right now. So I don't want to just blind discard off the top of the deck, because I think those cards are good. This is a place where, like, a player with a good memory would be in a real good spot. I think I am going to drop Journeyman. We're going to keep Lender on deck. And then we're going to play Pastor. So we immediately get double discard or rearrange. I think that do we want to rearrange the Thief to the side? Or do I want to hold on to the thief for potentially enabling this? Because we're on good symbols now. I think I'm gonna not take either. Like, we take the discards, then we choose not to do them because they're optional. I don't want to cycle through my deck that badly, I think. Although, shuffling is likely to get me... Well, shuffling would get me a corruption, which I don't actually want right now. Although, we wouldn't shuffle this turn anyway. You know, I'm going to take it. I'm going to take the double discard. Strongman and Courier. So we left the one card that is from the basic deck. But this shuffle will occur after we resolve our collision, which I'm fine with. And then... 1, and pay 1 to move again. And then Skull plus Cross. Get out of here. Skull plus Cross plus Inkwells gets me... You know, we're going to move the Hellbox, because it's in kind of an awkward spot. Hellbox, go over here. That gets me this, and that gets me this. The Cleric of the Market. Alright, so now, obviously, a black ribbon would be really nice, and I think we're in a position to be able to make that happen. Do we want to hire? No, I'm too broke to hire. So, collision resolution. First of all, no flips for you. You don't even have any debts. It's fine, because you got a skull showing. Alright, I get 2 deeds and a money. You get a corruption, because you do in fact have skull showing. And then reset these. Then I draw up to hand size, which is, give me that. Pretty bummed out that Laborer was the bottom card. That double discard was really good as long as Laborer was either the first or second card. There was a really good chance of that being alright. And then we pulled the Strongman off the top anyway, which I think probably means that we did fine. This is alright. So, yeah, that's my whole turn. That's my whole turn. Sweet, sweet AI, show us what you got. So you are going to burn a townsfolk. Where? Okay, here you are. We burn this one, which gives you a rearrange, which is, in fact, a stone. Then you are going to move 4 times. And, in this space, attempt to build with 2 hammers and a stone. Sure are getting them buildings established quickly. Okay, gain an ink. Probably not a big, like, huge gain for them, the ink. The rest of this, though. Oh, right, also. Sorry. They should future scheme. Oh, no, wait, I'm sorry, I'm doing that backwards. They don't future scheme off of a discard. Off of a burn. They burn off of a future scheme. The lower thing is the trigger. Okay. Yeah, not exactly a mind-blowing turn, and you still didn't actually collide. I guess the fact that they didn't actually collide is maybe good for them, because now they're gonna get this because their skull slid off. Well, I guess unless they pull a skull next turn. Alright, so the Financier falls off, and now we have this Strongman. So we are currently showing 3 bags. With the Strongman, we would have 5, which is 2 hammers. So we could do a build, potentially, if we can find a place where we can get a hammer or a skull. However, my inclination would be to use this turn to just get some stone, and then do the thing next turn. So, like, maybe what we do is play Lender right now. Go 1, pay for 2. It is only 2 stone. Oh, no, sorry. It's 3 stone. We have bag, skull, bag, 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 bag. So it gets 3 stone, and then we play Strongman, and yeah, I think that's okay. So Lender, 1, pay for a second one. That is 6 bags worth of stone, and I think we don't pay for another one. I think we gotta stop there. But honestly, that's gonna get us an outpost, which obviously is that's pretty fine. Yeah, so good. Temporary hire? No, sorry, permanent hire? You know, maybe. Maybe. So that would mean we would not have any money. We'd have to just take the 2 move. And then what are we going to play the turn after this? We still don't know. I'm just thinking, like, if we do a strongman move, like, here and then here, and build, like, there, and then we have the ability to single move over to get money, I think that's pretty strong overall. But if we don't draw something that allows us to single move, that could be a little awkward. If we end up in a place where we can't single move, yeah, that's tricky. I think I'm still going to hire this guy, even though I do think it's a little risky, just because he plays so well with our strategy. Alright, and then draw back up to hand size. It's a priest. Not 100% ideal for our situation. Okay, yeah, no collision to resolve. Everything's cool. Everything's going fine over here. How are you? How are you, sweet robot? Sweet, deadly robot. Okay. Collision, and they put a skull back on their board right as they did it, which I really appreciate. 4 movement is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then preferred action of build is totally possible. Skull and 2 hammers makes this happen. That's a deed for you. And then... yeah, that's it. Reshuffles are now, like, pretty wild for you. Also, interesting outcome here. So, first of all, stone plus deed plus debt. When we get a rearrange, do I want to take a rearrange? I don't think so. I think I want to leave it. I guess... No, we want to keep the lender in, right? I'm just thinking, like, we could move the lender over so the lender falls off and get ourselves a resource off of the flip right away, which might actually be pretty helpful. More helpful than gaining a debt immediately. I mean, if we gain the debt, and we do also get a coin when this happens, which will smooth out our movement a little bit. But, like, we probably want to then... Do we want to move the lender over and move the pastor into the first space? The thing is, I'm kind of counting on these 2 bags, right? I think I actually may want to not take that rearrange. Just not do anything with it. Because we do not currently need a stone. Here's a question. Do we get to 7 stone? Do we get to 7 hammers if we take the stone? Because if we play strongman now, we'll have 1, 2, 3 hammers showing. Yeah, the stone actually makes a difference. And if we lose the lender, we still have enough hammers off of the... Or, yeah, we still have enough bags to have enough hammers off of these 2. I think that's actually right. And if we're going to keep the thief, do we want to keep her all the way over for maximum flexibility? Yeah, probably, right? Even though it does slow down the acquisition of those resources. I think that's okay. Alright, so, yeah. Let's do it like that. Thank you for the rearrange. And yeah, this didn't fire because you did have a criminal symbol showing. Okay. I'm pretty bummed out about how effective they've been at building already. This is not going the way I would have liked. Alright, so lender slides over. Let's flip a debt, take a stone. And then we know we're playing strongman. So we are currently showing 6 bags, which converts into 3 hammers thanks to our strongman with these, so we can guild hall. Is that actually better than doing an outpost? Probably. Like guild halling for manuscript, and then we can more easily get back to this. But I think you don't get to build a guild hall all that easily, all that often. So, the question now is, where do we build it? Because this move is no longer guaranteed to give us access to the money village over here. So do we want to instead like, move to here... Actually, yeah, if we just build in the money village, I get a stone back and 2 money right away. And getting a stone back, plus still having strongman out, puts us in a position where we might be able to get a 5-hammer build off in the near future. If we can massage things correctly. Obviously, building here is probably the right move if the top card of our deck has a 1, but we don't know and there's no way to know. Yeah, so I think I do in fact want to just take this 1-2. This is going to give the AI a resource, but I think I'm fine with it. So yeah, we take our 7 hammers and we build ourselves. The question now, Hammer Guildhall or Manuscript Guildhall? I think it's probably Hammer Guildhall, right? Because we're hoping to make another building, like, really soon. So we do that, we get a stone and 2 money. The AI gets a resource instead of 2 money, which is going to be a stone. And then... I suppose we do in fact have the money to hire. The hire would give us a rearrange, which I wouldn't take, but there is a question. Do we want the clergyman? He is kind of in our strategy. How many cards do I want to have in my deck? Because it's getting a little larger, and we're not controlling it particularly well. I think I'm going to not take him. Like with this, we kind of... Every bag we buy is half a point. I mean, that is interesting. You know what? Let's take him. We get a rearrange. I don't use it. I think I like the order that we're in. Right, I don't want to bounce the thief early. No, I think... yeah, we're right. We're in the right order. Okay, nothing to do here. Draw up. Okay, Journeyman's actually probably a pretty good pull at this moment, this particular point. And that makes it the AI's turn. Go, sweet machine. What have you for us now? First of all, burn a person, which is... where the... okay, here you are. Oh no, that's my guy that I was hoping to get. You would get a discard, but instead you get a virtue. Because robots have no discard, but they are inherently very virtuous. Everybody knows this. Move to here, and then attempt to take the gold action successfully. Symbol plus skull plus gold. Okay, yeah, not exactly a barn burner of a turn. So over here, Journeyman gives us 5 hammers, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So let's move 2 and do a build action. Where do we want to do it? We could do it over here and get some ink. We could do it here, get a card destruction, which I would take. Honestly, I'd probably just burn this laborer. We're doing fine on hammers without him. And then shrinks our deck down a little bit. We get a virtue, which I like. The AI also gets a virtue, which I don't think matters at all. And then I get a gold. The AI also gets a gold, which I think is actually good. I think we want them to have like a small amount of gold. It does create this long stretch of town where it's hard to build, but I think it's the right move. So 1, 2, hammers and hammers and hammers. So this is the outpost without question. Sometimes I'm like, it's bag outpost, but by a little bit. This time it's bag outpost, like super slam dunk. So, destroy plus gold plus virtue. We could do a blind destroy off the top of the deck, but obviously I have concerns about that. Let's just burn this guy. And I guess we do have the ability to hire the scoundrel if we want. I hate to turn down a 1-cost criminal. She's not exactly on strat though, and like I said, I'm a little concerned about the size of our deck already. I think I'm going to leave her. Yeah, I think that's fine. We're done with her. Alright, so in that case, my turn is over. now you are the one who is shuffling. So it's... I suppose in some situations the order of this might matter. We might have to look this up. But for right now, it's a corruption for shuffling criminally, plus a corruption, plus a virtue from the board. It's a truly criminal shuffle. Alright, that's bad news. We're getting into those good schemes here. Move 2. And then build with hammer, skull. Okay, still not at 7. How did I fail to do that? Yeah, we're showing 6 hammer capacity here. Alright, so you build the last of these in this position, and it causes you to flip a thing, and also it unlocked a trigger for flipping a thing. So that's pretty fortuitous timing, and that trigger is burn a person. Okay, so virtue for you. That was a guy that we might still have hired. Oh. Hey, artisan. Interesting. And then, yeah, that's your turn. Alright, so we get a money and a debt here. And then we're still showing a lot of... That's not a debt. Still showing a lot of potential, in my opinion, building-wise. Before the strongman goes off into that good night, do we want to play Courier? Because with Courier, plus this plus that, we're showing 5 hammers worth of bags, right? We get to build this thing? Or is it this? I think I have routinely undervalued this ability. Is it the right move? Honestly, it very well may be. So where would we build that? Dude's got a 1. So I mean, obviously right here is perfectly fine. Gets us a manuscript. Gets us an ink, rather. When we play him, we can double discard or we can destroy. I do want to get my deck size down. Do I want to pull Squire, though? I kind of like that symbol. I do want to do stuff in the castle. We have not been doing stuff in the castle. What are we at? 6 plus 3 plus 5? That's not such an unreasonable deck size. And the thing is, there are cards I know I want to get rid of, I just don't know, we don't have them right now. And if we do that, if we build here, we get an ink, and then next turn we can play the priest and get super value off of that ink, I think that's the play. So do we take the destroy? Do we burn the Squire for being kind of not optimal in the moment, with the hopes of picking up more of these later as we sort of shift strategies away from easy building? I mean, here's a question. Do we need to? Do we think we are actually going to run out of buildings before the game ends? I'm going to burn him. We're doing it. Alright, and then, yeah, like I said, we're just showing 6 hammers. Do you have a hammer on you? You do. Huh. Let me take my 1 move. Because we are showing 6 hammers, aren't we? So if I temp this guy, we just get a 0 stone guild hall. I mean, it leaves us with no money, but it's almost gotta be right. What do we get? We get a discard. I don't think I want to take that discard. What's in my deck? The trader is in our deck, our hero is in our deck, and something else. So just doing a blind discard off the top of the deck could actually be pretty good. It could also, like, I would be pretty bummed out if it hit our hero. So there's a 1 in 3 chance of that, a 1 in 3 chance of hitting the trader, and then I don't remember what else we have. I didn't burn my trader yet, right? No, okay. 'Cause, 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 Yeah, he does give us a discard. I'm going to take it. I'm going to caution to the wind. Of course it was our hero. Why wouldn't it be our hero? This is going to be the traitor. Sigh. Alright. 7 hammers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to be so disappointed when the strongman falls off of our thing in a second here. So, pretty sure it's the manuscript guild hall goes on this thing that gives us an ink. And then, we're done. I'm out of resources, and I do not have collision. So, draw 2. Hey look, the next card was in fact the traitor. I'm pretty sure that is what came up next. Well, phooey. Alright. So, first of all, you burn... Aw, that guy I thought was cool looking. And discard translates into virtue. Then you move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Aha! I get a rearrange. That's actually really interesting. I mean, we take it, right? Honestly, we probably do this with it. I see no reason not to do that with it. Okay, and then you build. And how successfully? Unsuccessfully, in fact. You need 7 hammers to build at this point, and you are only showing the capacity for 4. So instead, you do a flip and take a resource. And then we resolve this. So, this time, this does trigger. They flip a debt because they had no criminal symbols up upon resolution. Which gets them another stone, making it much more likely they'll be able to build in the future. Then, they get a resource of their choice, which is a stone. And then also a deed. We're going to have a hard time beating them on flipped debts, I think. To the point where we kind of need the debt pile to run out now. And then get a... Wait, did I give you the stone for this? I don't think I did. Well, you know what? Part of the magic of this format is I can go check. Hold on a sec. Okay, sorry for getting a little off track there, but I was really unsure whether I had given them this after doing the flip. I totally have. They have the right amount of stone. Okay, so, yeah, it was 3rd stone from this, 4th stone from flipping the debt, 5th stone from this resource. Okay, good. And then I get a corruption if I'm showing a skull, which I am not. Okay, good. We're good now. Everything's fine. 3 and 2, and we're showing 1 and 0. We're going to have a hard time winning on that front this time, I think. Oh, well. Okay. Journeyman falls off. So we have a free hire, and it is mandatory, and then also a virtue. Who do we want to take on a free hire? I mean, there is the Deacon, who is interesting. Gives us a virtue right now, and then a virtue every time we write a manuscript while he is out. I don't necessarily think the Racketeer is a bad card for us, even though we're not as criminal as we have been in the past. And, like, a shuffle right now is meaningless. We're already getting a shuffle. That doesn't do anything at all. We could take Stonecutter. We could take this other Racketeer, this other more different Racketeer. Or the Scoundrel, I suppose. For easy ink. You know, honestly, it's probably the Scoundrel. I know that that's not, like, great value. It feels like when you get a free recruit, you should take a 3. But I don't actually think that's necessarily always that important. And I just don't know that we need big sources of stone anymore, because we have 2 of our guild halls out already. And we have proven that we are able to generate guild hall levels of resources if we need to so, like, maybe we want to be digging in another direction. And I kind of like the virtue here, pushing us toward a collision that's pretty good for us. I guess it is true that the Stonecutter's the only one on the board that has a bag showing. And that's not nothing. Yeah, I really don't know what makes sense here. Stacks are 7 and 8 right now. Even with the AI's stuff, collisions have mostly been virtuous, although the AI's next collision is relatively likely to be more on the debt side, because we know that there's two single skull cards and a double skull card in here, and if they come up sequentially, it'll push right real fast. I think I want to pick up a criminal. I think I definitely want a criminal right now. I'm going to take the scoundrel. I know she's not, like, high value, but I think she's right, and we'll discard Traitor, who I think there's no chance we're going to play. Well, so if I do Priest right now, I can go 1, 2, spend the ink to make 4 symbols. He would move us to here. We would get this. That does not complete a color set. Gets us a second silver. But it does get us a free building. A free little building, which, you know, we could just take the one that increases your hand size. That's pretty good. We can move over here and get this. We can't quite get this thing going, which is a shame, because this will actually be really good for us, and also it's really good for the AI, and we'd love for them not to have it. This is just 1 point per building built. That's the one we really want. This guy has 3 movement on him, so we could go 1, 2, 3, pay 1 and just grab this to lock in our set before the AI accidentally takes it and then another black ribbon never shows up, which is, I suppose, a real concern. Oh, we don't have any money. I can't do that. We need money. I don't really have a good way of solving the money problem at the moment. A collision would help with money. There's no manuscript we can write for money. There are places where you can build for money. No, never mind. That's a single link, and it's already spent. Yeah, being broke sucks. It's just like real life. One thing we could do, I suppose, actually, is play Traitor here. Just move 1, and then flip cards. That's not money, but it is resources. And then the Traitor will give us 1 money for completing the trade action while he's up. And we have a lot of bags showing, right? We're on 6, 9, 10 with this guy, so that's only 2 flips. We can't quite get to the 3rd flip, but I still think it's pretty good. We flip... We just flip both of our debts and catch up, because it does look like the deed pile is running out faster. Okay, I'm into it. 1, and this puts us in a place where we might get fed a rearrange again, which is cool. So we clearly have way more than the 8 bags we need. Flip, and I think we take ink here. And then that puts us in a place where we can get some pretty good manuscripts if we need them. And then this guy's thing triggers, and we do get 1 coin for having taken the trade action. And then we can't hire you, and I probably wouldn't if I could. No collision to resolve. A virtuous shuffle is upon us. Okay. Lender's fine. Lender is fine here. I'll tell you what we have a lot of is bags. And it's not turning out to be as bad as I was afraid it might be. Alright, another stone for you. Then a single move, aha! We have been handed the rearrange. So what are we gonna do next turn? I wish we had 1 more money. You know? Because we are so close to being able to play Lender and move here. And it would be so good. It would be so good if we did it. So if we play Priest, 1, 2, 3 gets us here. And then we spend the 1, we take this thing, lock in our set. Or we could play the Lender, move to here, and just get a lot of gold. Basically, what I'm trying to figure out is there any reason for me to not bump the trader to the end? So we could get some money that way. And then we're still in a place where next turn we could play the priest. We get the 3 move. It takes us to exactly where we're going. We don't have to pay for it. I think that's right. So for this rearrange that we've been given, I'm gonna bump the trader. Sorry, this is like this, right? Because this way we have the largest possible gold reservoir. I guess it doesn't change things so much. Whatever, it's fine. I think this guy is the least valuable guy on the tableau. Okay, thank you for the rearrange. And then a build action, which of course works. They only have to spend 4 stone for their guild hall, because they have 3 hammers this time. And it goes right there. I get a virtue, they get a virtue, and also they get a deed. The deed pile is indeed going to be the one that runs out. So we gotta make sure we get and flip debts. Okay. I get a virtue, right. I mean, that's big. They're going to score a lot of points, man. Okay, we figured out what we want to do already. I'm pretty sure it's the right move. 1. And we are showing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 bags. Let's move some of this stuff over. So we're just going to 7 gold on hand. Which means that with a single gold symbol, we can place 4 workers. And that'll be pretty good at some unspecified point in the future. And then we are not hiring because I used all of our money. Yeah, okay, we're good. We're done. Please stop doing high-value stuff. So, when they would flip a debt, but they cannot, they instead gain a virtue. Then they move 2. Aw, I was really hoping for another catch-up. I would have dumped the lender in a second. It would have been so good. Okay, so you move past me, and then you would love to build, but you don't quite get there. Skull, 3 hammers, 2 stones. Doesn't quite work. So, take a debt, take a deed, get a resource. It is still going to be hard for us to keep up. Like, we need to get some debts. Preferably before we lose our lender, so that we can flip them real quick. And we don't really have a great way of doing that. In fact, we're going towards taking a deed, which is unfortunate. Alright. Our turn. And we're getting the most deedful possible collision here. Stacks are 5 and 7. So... Did I forget to draw at the end of my turn? I totally did. Yeah, okay. So Pastor. Pastor's a pretty good draw. I think we're going to do the thing that I was saying a second ago. Just play the priest, go lock in that good manuscript. 1, 2, 3. It is a shame to have to spend an inkwell on this, because it takes us over, right? We go 2 symbols. I mean, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let me think this through a sec. Because we could right now play Pastor instead. And have a lot of hammers up, right? How many hammers do we have showing off of Strongman? 1, 2, 3, 4. With a 5th hammer right there. So we could play Pastor. Just do Strongman. And then next turn play Priest. And not have to spend an ink. And then come around to the expensive side of the board and spend that ink on stuff that actually, like, we get good value out of. I think that makes sense. So if we Pastor... I guess it doesn't have to be Pastor, right? We don't need... The bag on Pastor is not doing anything. It could be Abbot. Because obviously, like, I'm not... I'm not super excited about standing right here. Although, there is, of course, value in placing a building there, flipping a deed, getting half of a link to a debt. Is there a way we could pick up a debt? Like, no, there's no... This is the only way to pick up a debt that's on the board right now. We just need more corruption, frankly. Alright, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna give him the thing instead of moving over to here and building in that space, which I think is bad. We're gonna move one. We're gonna give you a rearrange, which is actually just a stone. And then I'm gonna five native hammers for this thing, and we don't really need the gold. I'm gonna take this. Flip a deed, so we are for sure in competition on deeds, and also, you know, because it's 2 points. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we're good. Okay, no higher, obviously. Depending on what we draw, I suppose next turn we could call an audible and maybe do a market thing for money since we're right there. If we draw a 1. Might be worth it. Yeah, so no collision, remarkably. Very interesting. We're probably getting money next turn. So that makes it your turn. Please don't steal my good manuscripts. It would be stealing because they're mine. Alright, so that's 3 virtue, or 3 corruption immediately for you. And then you flip a deed, which I find very annoying. Just a truly annoying thing for you to do. 1, 2, 3 moves you to here. And then you attempt to build and you succeed. And actually, you are showing 5 hammers right now. So you succeed at actually a pretty low cost. And you get a rearrange, which is a stone. Okay, yeah, AI killing it on buildings. And, sorry, we do have a collision to resolve. So, a stone for you and also a debt. And then, for me, if I'm showing no skulls, a virtue, which is the case. So I got a thing, but remember, we don't resolve that until the end of our turn. Okay, yeah, this doesn't happen. You're showing a ton of crime, so yeah. That is in fact the resolution of that. Alright, our turn. Strongman falls off. We are no longer in free hammer territory. We worked hard to keep that going as long as we could. So I think we play Clergyman. We take the 1 move, and we just gain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 money. I think that's an okay turn. And, like, gain a huge amount of money and then have Clergyman on the table for crosses. Like, we are going to write any manuscript we want. Now, we are allowed to hire this dude. Let's see, a reshuffle right now doesn't change anything about this situation. It is going to get the AI a debt because they are showing skulls. There's nothing we can really do about that. So it's just like, do I want a Racketeer? Do I want to put a skull in my deck? And I think I do. I think I probably do. And then it does a reshuffle. So we would get these guys back in. And we'd potentially be further away from the other stuff. The thing is, all of the current plan is in our hand right now. So we don't necessarily have very strong feelings about that. I'm not going to buy him. I think we're good. Alright, let's resolve this. So, 3 deeds for me. And I mean, hey, listen, it is at least 3 straight up points. That's something. And also a coin. And also a debt for the AI. Which is good as long as it doesn't flip any of them. And then reset. Okay. Yeah, now draw up. Low hand size, man. I feel bad only having 3 cards. Alright, show me what you got. What you got is criminality. 4 corruption immediately. And then gain a future scheme, and upon gaining a future scheme, burn the townsfolk in your area. This is why people don't like Viscounts. And burning the townsfolk, for some reason, gets you a virtue. I guess that was an evil townsfolk. It's all a sort of a point of view kind of thing. Alright, you move once, and then attempt to build, and again are quite successful. And you are 100% out on buildings. So here, have a stone. And also a deed. There is one deed left in the deed pile. If the game were to end right now, we would tie on flipped debts. It's so hard to know whether that's going to continue to be the case. And we failed to get a debt before our lender fell off. Oh well, I mean, like, you know. Deeds are okay. Wait, shouldn't that have picked... I was trying to move those as a stack. Usually things will pick up things that are on top of them. Alright, so we move you over, and now I think it is time to go for the Gusto. So I don't know how much time we have left. I guess if we take that, we're ending the game. Am I winning? I don't think I do want to end the game. I don't want this deed yet. I think we're in a situation here where over the next few turns, I'm going to gain way more points than the AI is going to gain. So I think we intentionally do not end the game. What we do instead is go like 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Spend 1, and then buy this thing. Because this thing is a fair number of points. Maybe I should rearrange these. This might be easier for me to visualize set-wise if we do the sets as rows. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Thank you, clergyman. Sorry, thank you, priest. So we take this. This is a point. It's 3 points for expanding our second set and also 4 points for buildings. That seems like a pretty good one. Oh, yo. That also seems like a pretty good one. And then, do I want to hire you in? No, right? I don't think so. So I guess we're just drawing up. And then next turn, we have a big smash if we want one. Like, is it another silver manuscript maybe? It's probably this one, right? Can we do that off of the abbot? Yes, we could go 1, 2, free move. Get this, which will give us 3 points for expanding this set, plus 3 points for this card, plus 1 point for the building, plus 2 points for the building, plus whatever we put it on. This, to get ourselves a debt, like, yeah, that seems like the place that we're going. It is possible that the AI will push the end for us. Like, if they manage to get 2 virtue this turn, their collision would pull the last deed. So we may not be 100% in control. Alright, well that's 1 virtue. And then 1, 2, 3. And then gold action, which they can take. And in fact, they take for 3 workers because of all this stuff. So hey, that's pretty good for them. 1... I mean, let's just go ahead and do it the way we know it's going to end up. And they get their gold back. So yeah, like, I want to do 1 more big manuscript turn, and then at least one big workers in the castle turn, and then stuff's going to happen either way, right? We only have so much control. So, you get a debt. Sorry, so, okay, this doesn't do anything. Yeah. You get a debt and a stone, which is a point. And then I get a virtue if I have no criminals showing, which is in fact the case. Okay. Yeah, and then your turn is done. So my turn begins. We got this thing going. Do we play Abbot? Like, do I need Abbot? We're going for a pretty cheap one, right? Well, it's free if I play the Abbot. So we have 4 crosses showing. So that's probably the right move. Like I said, 1, 2, and then the free move off of our building gets us this guy, which is pretty good. It's another hammer for continuing to build as well, which is potentially useful. So we get to build one of these of our choice in the location of our choice. And it's gotta be here, right, to take a debt? And then we can flip a debt. I'm confident of that. And we also get a gold, sorry. And I get a virtue, and the AI gets a virtue, because we completed another link as well. Alright, so, and then we could hire this guy. We could attempt this guy, I guess, too. Just take a virtue and then reveal a card. Maybe I do want to hire that guy. I just didn't temp him, and I feel like that was probably a mistake, but I am going to permanently hire him for the virtue, because now I want the game to end. We would like to see the game come to an end. We'd like to see the signal of the game end sometime in the next turn or two, right? But if I can get a bunch of deeds at the end of the game from our final collision, that would probably be a smart thing to do. I'm looking at the board here and thinking, like, I have 3 high-value actions visible to me, which is take this thing, and then also that gold cash-in. And the gold cash-in is probably over here, right? So, yeah, I don't know. This is part of the tricky thing about the game, right? Is trying to figure out what exactly is the timing you need the game to end on. Interesting. Alright, AI, what do you got? And I think the AI is in kind of a soft position right now, although they are flipping a debt, which I do not love. 2 moves, and then manuscript, which they 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cannot write. So instead they try to build, which they cannot. So instead they take the last deed and flip a debt, which probably makes them unassailable on debts. They have probably won that now. And that means this is the penultimate round. And then the penultimate round ends, and so now we're on the last turn. So, I gotta figure out, what is the most valuable action I could take? I get 1 action. They're on 5 flipped debts, so yeah. That's pretty rough. For them to flip 2 debts and end the game simultaneously, that's tough to beat. So the question is, does it make more sense to buy this manuscript than it does to make the big castle action? This manuscript is 2 points for flipping a card, plus 7 points for turning a set from 9 to 16. The castle action's not going to be 9 points. There's no way. If we play Thief to generate 1 corruption, and then do our castle action like here, we would get ourselves a collision, which gains us some cards, and it would put 4 points of guys in the castle. Or, sorry, 5 points of guys in the castle, right? Because at the end of it, there'll be 1, 2, 3, and then a guy here who's worth 4 or 5. So 5 points of guys in the castle, plus 2 points for taking deeds, is still not better. We're just going to end the game with a bunch of gold, because I was really hoping to have 1 more turn. But I think there's no way that this is wrong. A silver is bad. A yellow is not bad. That's a 5-point manuscript, but then the symbols on it aren't worth anything. Yeah, there's no way that it's wrong to go get that. So it doesn't matter what we play, because that's a 3 cost, and we just have 3 symbols showing. I guess the only question is, do I want a corruption? And I think it can't matter. I'm going to do this. Look at all these tie breaks. Our loose resources are tie breaks, so, you know, that's something. I'm going to discard a peddler. And then we're going to go, I played a 3, so 1, 2, 3, and the free move. Going to get ourselves a thing. And I guess we'll flip a debt. It doesn't actually matter what we flip. We'll flip a debt, and we'll get ourselves a 9th gold. Why not? And then, doesn't help us to hire that guy. And it will reduce our tie breaks. Why would I do that? I'm not going to do that. So we're done, man. Yeah. Okay, that was the end of my last turn. I'm not gonna lie, disappointed. I think the AI ended the game at a really good time. Like, this was, like, actually fairly devastating, right? Flip 2 debts and run out the deed pile in the same turn, especially in a situation where the debt pile can't run out. There's no realistic way for that to occur. While your opponent has 2 high-value actions queued up. Like, that's as good as a player could have done, for sure. Alright, so you are going to burn this guy for a debt. Well, that might be overdoing it a little bit. And then move 3, 1, 2, 3, and then write a manuscript, if possible, and it is possible. So you get your first manuscript. It is worth a point, and it does give you 2 virtue. Okay, that's probably the lowest impact turn the AI could have had, so I appreciate them doing that at least. And then we're done, and then we're out. It's over. So, I'm a little disappointed. I thought we were maybe going to be able to compete on this, but we ended up in a pretty okay spot as far as just our raw number of card points goes. The AI, as always, is extremely positive on that, because the AI pulls cards like crazy. But what are you going to do? Listen, one time we beat them, not just once, but twice on the cards, and I'm gonna take that with me to my grave. That's going to be on my tombstone. So, buildings. I know, it's the same every time. Why don't you just remember it? And I'll tell you why. Because of my brain. Because of that thing with my brain. So, 45 points of buildings. The whole Megillah. That's one entire Megillah. We get less. So that's a 22, 23. I mean, it's not horrible. Going all the way in on buildings is, like, real good, though. If you actually get all the way in. Then after buildings, it's the workers in the castle, which is a big win for the AI. 6 on the outside, and 8 points total. 253. Then manuscripts. 1. We have 16 plus 8. Okay, so 24, plus we have this guy who is worth another 6. 5. So let's put in the 29 right here. That'll take us to 52. And then we gotta score that bag thing. And in an extremely professional show here, I'm gonna pull up my web browser on the other monitor and look up that board game topic I saw, because there was a topic where the developer responded to it with exactly how these work, and I believe it's not actually in the book. It could be. It should be. I think it counts this and this in addition to the cards in your deck, but we're going to make 100% sure because I need to know, because I think it might actually come up. I think it might matter in this case. I think we lost. My feeling is that we probably lost, but this might matter. So you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video and I'll be right back when I've found it. Okay, I have confirmed the cleric card and the symbols on the board do count. So that's a couple extra points for us. Let's pull out all the relevant stuff here. So you matter. Hold on, we gotta separate these piles a little bit more sensibly. All of the cards that we have that have bags in them. And remember, thief symbols are not wild, or criminal symbols are not wild for this purpose. You matter, and you do too. Okay. I would say that, actually, like, looking at the construction of our deck, I think we managed to end up in a pretty focused place here. Right? Like, those are all the things that weren't on the market strat. So, where are we going to do this? I guess here's fine. So let's see, we got... It's a lot of cards is the thing. We're gonna run into some obstacles here. Yeah, I think the incredible number of deeds that the AI is allowed to accumulate over a game, plus the prosperity card itself, I think are going to sink us here. But I do believe that we did an okay job on this. Okay, that didn't happen the way I thought it was going to. So, 3, 5, 6, 8, 11, 12, 13, 16, 19, 21, 23. Makes that card 11 points. That is an 11-point manuscript. Feel pretty okay about that. If only we'd gotten one more bag. Or I hadn't trashed my trader. But no, I did. I didn't trash my trader. My trader's right here. Did I trash a bag at any point? I did. Oh no, this was a Tempire guy, though. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I actually managed to hold on to all the bags. Okay, so 63 to 54 right now. Yeah, we lose. That's a shame. Castle Leader and Cleric cards. That's true. I do get another 6 points there. But then here's where it gets really ugly. So now it's just just raw points. So they are looking at 9, 14 minus 6. So actually just 9. Boy, this is going to sound silly, but what was this a second ago? It was 54, right? I think it was 54. You know what? I'm just going to go check. Okay, so they net 8 points on their cards. 8 points from the 54, which is what it was, is 62. And in case you were ever wondering, hey, SB keeps saying that she's got a bad memory. And how bad is it? Well, there you go. That's exactly how long information stays in my head. I was able to forget what number I was counting from before I stopped counting from it. Okay, so now that is... Sorry, we got to do ours. What am I doing over here? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Actually, that didn't... I don't know why I was thinking that they had more points than we had. I guess they did pull debts at the end. That did change the balance of things a little bit. And then they, of course, get the full 12 on here, and oh my god. No, never mind. I was going to say, oh my god, did we do it? But no, of course not. 83. And then they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points of resources. Wait a minute, did we do it? I think we might have won by a single point. Oh my god. I do believe that that's the correct score. I mean, part of me wants to go back and part of me wants to pause the video one more time and go back and quintuple check. But you know what? I'll leave that level of shame, if it turns out that I'm wrong, for a little bit later. Right now I'm going to celebrate as though I am certain of this. Hey everybody, look at that. I think we, in fact, narrowly pulled it out by a single point, and if I may say so, at the risk of sounding too full of myself here, by really working the hell out of several pieces of our kit here. Like, if we hadn't gone super deep on our time with the Strongman and managed to secure a couple of rearranges to keep the Strongman on the board as long as we did, if we hadn't gone super, super deep on this thing, none of that would have been possible. It turns out maybe a bag-heavy strategy is just fine. In fact, maybe it is totally okay. So, I do believe that we are out of time for today. That is going to be it for us for now, and thank you all so much for watching. This game's real good, and it's got me very interested in checking out the other games from the same developer, the other West Kingdom games. I heard somebody said a thing to me on Twitter that implied that Paladins of the West Kingdom is similar to like Orleans or Altiplano, which would be a huge plus for me. I love Altiplano very much. So yeah, very excited about that, and maybe if those games have interesting solo modes, maybe you will see them right here in this space sometime in the not-too-distant future. I say this every time I finish a board game series, that, gee, I wish I did these more often. And obviously part of that is that, you know, I gotta make sure that I'm, like, bringing in stuff that I think is gonna pull viewers in, because I'm trying to, you know, eat and have a building around me. But also I get distracted. Also a lot of it's I get distracted. So I'm going to try to increase the amount of board game content, like I say at the end of every one of these, but this time I mean it. Approximately as much as I meant it every other time. Thank you all so much for watching. That's it for Viscounts of the West Kingdom. Come back next time, next week, for some new stuff and maybe some more board games. And we'll see you then.